Overnight, violent crashes between federal agents and protesters in Minneapolis after a federal agent shot a man during an immigration operation.
Get away from them! Get away from them!
According to the Department of Homeland Security, a federal law enforcement officer shot a Venezuelan man who they say fled a traffic stop and then attacked the officer, adding that the officer fired to defend his life, hitting the man in the leg. The department also saying 2 other people assaulted the officer with a snow shovel and broom. The injured man is in custody. He and the officer were taken to the hospital. The scene quickly descending into chaos. Smoke and flashbangs filling the night sky. Agents deploying chemical irritants as demonstrators sent fireworks in their direction. ABC affiliate KSTP was on the ground as crowds gathered around the city.
The smell of those chemical irritants is definitely in the air. You can see a group of ICE agents right now. It looks like they have at least one person in custody.
This is already a very tense situation, and we do not need this to escalate any further.
Officials calling for peace, acknowledging the city is on edge.
For those that are taking the bait, you are not helping. And you are not helping the undocumented immigrants in our city.
Apparently, there are those among us who are determined to take this country back in time to the summer of 2020, where we watched cities all over America burn in the aftermath of the George Floyd death. No matter where you stand on that situation, I am one who believes that it was a murder committed by the officer. All of us can agree that we do not want to go back to watching our cities burn all over the United States. I was a person who was affected by that. Living here in California, I watched as police allowed protesters to burn down a family-owned business, my family's business, which had been in the community over 40 years. That was a tragic time, very stressful, very troubling, and I, for one, do not want to go back to that time. With me, I can understand the need for civil unrest, but I understand that need when there is a need for civil unrest. Some egregious act being committed by the government or by law enforcement under the orders of government officials. Sometimes you got to go out. Sometimes you might have to protest. Hell, you might even have to tear something up just to let them know that you mean business. But this situation in Minneapolis makes absolutely no sense. We are seeing the destruction of property and the destruction of vehicles, including but not limited to ICE vehicles, due to another shooting where a suspect has been shot by an ICE agent. And once I heard the details of the situation, I was totally confused as to why there are people in America who are willing to destroy not only their own city, but the property of their neighbors in defense of illegal immigrants who broke the law the minute they crossed the border and continue to break the law by not following lawful orders to self-deport out of the country. So apparently a law enforcement officer was pulling over a suspected illegal immigrant. Turns out the person was illegal. The illegal, he ran in his car from the ICE agent who followed him. Eventually, ICE was able to catch up with this man and a struggle ensued. The man resisted arrest, ended up fighting with the officer. While the officer was fighting with the illegal alien, 2 people from a nearby apartment came outside and proceeded to beat the officer with a snow shovel. So the officer, obviously fearing for his life, he's getting jumped by 3 people, pulls out his service weapon and fires a shot. And from what I gather, he hit the illegal alien in the leg. After that, these men ran into an apartment, barricaded themselves inside. ICE eventually captured the suspect, took him to a nearby hospital, arrested the 2 people who were obstructing the officer from arresting the illegal, and then the riots started. People just came out in the street. They have cameras, they're walking down ICE, and all of a sudden someone is destroying property, breaking out windows of cars, ransacking the vehicles, taking out everything inside. And I have to wonder, is this something that is organic, or are violent paid agitators being sent into these cities in an attempt to incite people to go beyond what they ordinarily would do. I witnessed a video where there was an agitator burning the American flag, and many of the protesters simply stood around. They did not participate, and they actually called out the agitator and said, hey, why are you burning the flag? You are going too far. You're doing something that was never intended to be done by the people who organized this protest. Just like during the BLM protest over George Floyd, we know right then, at that time, we had people who were paid, whose job it was to go out into the protest and take the protest from a peaceful protest to a riot. And sometimes, people are emotional. They just get sucked in. They do things that they ordinarily wouldn't do because they see someone else doing it and they think, hey, it must be okay. Or, well, they didn't get caught, so I can do it. And I'm frustrated. I want to tear stuff up. I mean, they have businesses where you can go around where you can go in and tear things up to relieve stress. And I would say that this is a stressful time, not even solely because of what ICE is doing, but because you have two groups of people in America who are in positions of authority, and they're sending a mixed message. Back in the day, they would tell you, hey, look, obey law enforcement. Republican, Democrat, whatever you believe, obey law enforcement. If you feel law enforcement is right or wrong, you can take them to court and you can fight it in court. If you feel like law enforcement is justified, hey, just keep letting them do what they're doing. But now there is a conflicting message. One side is telling you that the ICE agents in your city who have been commissioned to get rid of the illegal immigrant element within the city, they're telling you that this is an illegitimate force who is a criminal agency that is doing something that's unlawful. Well, all one need do is use the same phone that they're recording with to do the research, and you will see that ICE is a law enforcement agency and is within their legal scope to go in and extract illegal immigrants out of American cities. We know what's going on. The sanctuary cities and states have refused to comply with the federal government, turning over illegal immigrants who are arrested for violent crimes to DHS, to ICE. So now DHS and ICE have to go in themselves and extract these people. There was recently a ruling where a federal judge refused to ban ICE from these sanctuary cities and basically made it very clear that ICE is fulfilling their lawful duty and that they have every right to go into the cities and extract these illegal immigrants. I really don't understand how these people are benefiting from this. I really don't understand any level of support for what these protesters are doing, because the laws have to be followed. I have to follow the law. You have to follow the law. If we break the law, we go to jail. Why would you fight and protest for another group of people who are not even citizens of this country to be exempt from following American law? There's only one place that can go. There's only one road that can lead down. That leads to down the path of chaos. And then when things turn to chaos, the same people who fought to allow these people to break our laws, they'll be saying that the government is not doing enough to protect them. But let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this. I appreciate everything you do for me in this channel. Till the next time, peace.